Hello! On this tutorial, you're going to learn how to use Omniverse Replicator to generate synthetic data. Here you can see the Omniverse launcher. You can download this from the NVIDIA Omniverse portal. Click on Exchange, search for code, and then download. Then launch it. To save some time, I've already launched it here. Now, on the bottom left corner, click on Script Editor. I am going to move it here for visibility. I am also going to move around this GUI to make it more easily to use. Then I'm going to click here, going to go to the documentation of Omniverse. Here we're explain what is synthetic data and the theory behind it. But right now, let's jump into a tutorial. Let's go into randomizing a scene from scratch. For usability purposes, all of the scripts that run on the script editor have been completely provided at the bottom of each example. At the top, you'll see the script broken down line by line. Here we copy paste it. And to run this is going to take some time since it's loading multiple assets. So now what's happening? What happened on the left is we generated an OmniGraph based on the script that I just ran. So Replicator in the background generates an OmniGraph, basically multiple nodes doing different tasks, for instance, randomizing, to then generate output. But it hasn't run the graph. So it just generated the graph, and to run it, we click on Replicator and we click on Run. Okay, great. You're going to see in the left, the randomizations start. So Replicator will be generating frames with the assets moving around trying to detect this character. Let's visualize the ground truth. We're going to get that image, the RGB. We're going to get the semantic segmentation and the bounding box to be tight. Now I'm going to move this here for visibility purposes to toggle this here. And you can see the human here, the segmentation mask and the bounding box. Awesome. So what's happening in the script that we just run? So here we are first selecting, first we're actually importing Omni Replicator core. That's the first thing you need to do. And then we're using with rep new layer. Rep new layer makes it so that you are not writing in your original USD. So say you already had built a USD beforehand, you weren't starting on an empty stage. You want to use this so that you don't corrupt your original USD. Then here we have all of the USDs we're going to be using today. We have the worker USD, which is this character. We have the vegetation folder. So here we have the folder with all of the shrubs. We have the outdoor puddles, which is this background, and the surface, which is here, which we use in this case, such that the camera is positioned around that surface. Yeah. All of these USDs come with Omniverse, with the local nucleus. The way that you install that is easily. You come here, nucleus, you click in plus, and then you set up your nucleus. All of that is documented. Okay, now that you have the assets that you want to use, we're going to do the randomizations. First, we're going to randomize the bushes. You see them moving around in the scene. So for that, we use these new randomizers, mprops. Here, the instances are the USD files from the props folder, which is all of those shrubs. And we're going to use the function instantiate, which instantiates each of these assets in the scene. We're going to give it a size, in this case 50, so it will instantiate 50 from this list. And then we pass it a mode, point instance, in instance, whatever you need. Then with the instances, we modify the pose. That's what you're seeing, the bushes moving around. We then have another randomizer for the worker. We first create from the USD the worker, we assign it a semantic tag, and then we modify its pose. We register both of these randomizers. This is a key step so that we can use them at the moment of randomization. Then we set up a static element. So here we have the environment, which is the background from this USD file that we saw before, and same for the surface, which is what we see here. And lastly, but most importantly, we create a camera. Here we're creating a camera. This camera, you can modify certain parameters like focus distance, f-stop. And then we have our render product. Here is where you would say what is the size of the image that you need to render. This render product then goes to the writer. The writer, here we're using basic writer. You could use the Kitty writer depending on what you need. And then we're initializing this writer to write in the output folder, RGB data, and also bounding box 2D type data. Then we attach the render product. Once you've set up all of that, we are ready to do the randomization. So we are going to trigger a randomization every frame. We choose however number of frames we want. So in this case, 10,000. We're then going to randomize the environment's props. Here we're modifying from 50 to 75. We're then running the randomizations for the worker. And then we are using the camera and modifying the pose with a certain distribution. Awesome, so that's what's happening in the script, and that's what's getting written to that output folder. I hope this tutorial has been easy, and I recommend you check out the Replicator documentation. We have a Discord channel that you can join and come with all of the questions you have. Thanks for listening.